just saw the Genesis gender roles are never overturned in terms of spiritual authority and teaching. Neither, number 10, are the Genesis gender roles ever overturned in terms of civil authority. In other words, there's no queens anointed by God, ever, in the Old Testament. Only kings. And you might say, what about Esther? Well, she was a queen over Persia, not over Israel. What about Athaliah in 2 Kings 11? You know, the daughter of Jezebel, who slaughtered all the people in her way to get to the throne. Game of Thrones style, I'm told. What about her? I read that also as a little footnote. Also, Athaliah disproves this principle that the complementarians often say, and they moved on. I went and looked up the account. Oh, great example. Slaughtering everybody to get herself to the throne, and then she's slaughtered when the rightful heir, the 7-year-old Joash, is revealed. When you lose in a leadership contest to a 7-year-old, you're not a good example for anything. Then we might go, but well, what about Deborah? Judges 4-5. Now, this deserves some time. Didn't she rule over the nation as a judge? Didn't she lead the military to victory? Didn't she gain success as a prophet? Almost kind of no on all of those answers. She provided consultation as a prophet and a judge to the Lord, not, as we said, public declarative authority. And in context, her leadership is shown throughout her account as a shameful rebuke to the men who refuse to lead. The most clear part of this is when she didn't lead the military, so that's another point. She didn't lead the military as judge like the other male judges did. Rather, that was Barak. And when she had a prophecy from the Lord, which she gave to Barak in that private consultation, he said, I'm not going to go into battle unless you go with me, Deborah. And she said, in an insult, because you have refused to obey the voice of the Lord and have said, only if the woman leads the charge, God will give the victory into the hands of a woman today. And it wasn't really Deborah. The hero of the story is actually Jael, who was in her... Now, here's where we see, where was this hero of the story when the action takes place? In her home doing domestic duties. How did she win? She brought the enemy king who was running away, said, come on in here, I'll look after you, laid him down, gave him a very hospitable drink of milk, all very exemplary of female gender roles, and then drives a tent peg through his head. Pretty cool. I'm going to make that normative, okay? So the hero of the story is Jael, who was in her home, and not because she rode out in front of the army. Again, the whole scenario of Deborah is in fact the rebuke to the men, which is why Isaiah 3:12, in the context of absolute rebuke against God's people, and he's saying they are a mess. Their fools are in authority. They are desiring destructive things for themselves. He says, Isaiah 3 verse 12, youth oppress my people. Women rule over them. In other words, how weak can a male society get when the kids are ruling and oppressing them? You been beat up by an 8-year-old? It's not easy to win. I have young nephews. Good backhand does it. I don't know how illegal that joke was. And women rule over them. An Israelite was supposed to read that and think, what? Women were ruling over them? What an unhealthy society that had turned their way against the created structure of God.